So I have a home. We had a home in Utah actually, and I wanted to make sure I tested local how to sell it. Of course, I needed to do it on my own and with our AI and get all the disclosures and the MLS listings. I saved $133,000 on the seller side agent commission. And I still paid a 3% commission on the other side. I was totally happy to pay that 3% to the buyer's agent because when they brought in a buyer full asking, it looked like a really good offer, a lot of money down, not a ton of contingencies that they had to get through. And the only really big one was the loan contingency. It was an expensive house. Lucky for me, we have a really expensive house in Utah, and we were able to sell it quickly. What I originally wanted to test was that I didn't have to list the MLS. I could just create a marketing plan to email all the brokerages in Park City, thinking that they would have buyers lined up, and I didn't get any responses. I sent everyone an email. I reached out to the top ones, not the small ones. What ended up happening is nobody responded. I got one email that said thank you. And I realized that there's no secret buyer lined up in Sotheby's or Compass or any of these places. That myth that they all have buyers ready, and maybe they do sometimes, of course. I realized this off-market concept that Compass is pushing. They're calling private listings so that they can not go to the MLS. It doesn't go public, so it doesn't look bad if it doesn't sell. I get that concept, but they're trying to double end it. They're trying to get both sides. They'll represent the seller and buyer, which is a dual agency. Anyway, so I just realized that this private listing concept is terrible. You're reducing the amount of people that see it. You're going to reduce the amount of the offers you get. It doesn't make any sense to me. I get it if you want to be private and you want to sell $100 million home and you don't want anybody. That makes total sense. We ended up listing on the MLS with the local and the flat fee ability. As soon as I listed at the MLS, we got 2 offers. One was low. The other one, the agent reached out and asked where they should come in. And I said we should come in at asking. We first offer, and anything lower would be a waste of your time. And then the first offer actually came back once they submitted an offer at full price. The first offer came back and said, we'll match that plus we'll add 10% every time they come up, which they wanted to play games. And I was not interested. One, it sounded way too complicated and it raises a red flag. They didn't want to put a lot of money down. I found out that they'd tried it for a bunch. They actually had another home they were in the running for, so they didn't want to commit. It's very strange. They came off as clearly not a serious buyer. And the other one came in very serious. They were full ass, not many contingencies, really great loan package that they had were going to pull a lot of money down. The security deposit was high enough where it made sense to me. The other one was just so low. And so we moved ahead with that. And the only hiccup we had, they needed a little bit of an extension for their loan. They had to get 2 appraisals. So the bank did. So that took a little longer than it should. It was kind of ridiculous that it was that way, but these things happen. I was okay with it. They had a sizable security deposit. So once that contingency was expired, I knew they were committed. So it was good. And other than that, it was really simple. I pulled a title commitment to show that we had a clean title from First American Title, which they were great. The buyers had their own title company. They requested I pay for the home warranty, which was like $800 or $1,200, for a $4.5 million home. That's nothing, So anyway, saved $133,000 on the seller side, paid $133,000 to the buyer side. So the buyer's agent is happy, right? We are still recommending sellers pay for buyers agents commissions. If you don't, then you're going to risk them steering away from you, which is illegal, but they will. You don't have to pay 3% like I did. I was happy because I saved so much money. I was okay with it. I wanted to move on the house quickly, but I had already saved so much that it was no brainer. Normally I would say 2.5% to 2% max. I wouldn't go any further up than that unless you feel like you want to get out of the house quickly and negotiate with whatever you want. Again, Loqol-AI can help you do all this stuff. So that's the story. We sold it. It was great. Clearly the off-market part didn't work. Once we were on the MLS, I had 2 people reach out, 2 offers in 2 days. So it's so clear to me what we're building here at Loqol. And so that now that I've proven out how to sell it myself, I'm very happy to help everyone else. I am such a big proponent of you all saving all your equity. I want you guys to start thinking about how you can do it. If you don't want to use us, use somebody else. You'll have to do more of it. You'll have to educate yourself because they're more DIY. We're not DIY. We are We are doing the whole transaction for you. You can test it out and see how it works. I think you'll be surprised. And of course, I'm a licensed agent. We're a licensed brokerage. We'll be able to help you at any point at a human level as well. So don't think you're off on your own on the AI. We're always watching the AI and making sure it's doing its job. At any point, you can always reach out to us. Thanks so much for listening. Onward we go.